Food is love. At least it was in our house. Even though we were poor, we were still better off than a lot of the kids and the families in our neighborhood. My mother made sure that we always got enough to eat, even though it wasn't always the kind of food we wanted to eat. Unlike our neighbors next door, the Davis family. A family of 4 kids, a mama and a daddy. The daddy did blue-collar labor work. The mama stayed at home, and whenever she didn't have enough food to eat or didn't feel like cooking, which was most of the time, she would send her kids out into the street to find food anywhere they could. One of the kids in the family, named Smokey, me and him became really good friends, and we would be friends for a very long period of time. I can remember one time when Smokey followed me home from school and he waited me out. And as soon as my mama said, "Come on inside, it's time to eat," Smokey ran right by me and ran right in the house, and he immediately started eating. And my mom went, "Boy!" And she took a deep breath. Wash your hands first. My relationship with Smokey and food would evolve over a long period of time. When we were in elementary school, I remember that Smokey was beating up kids to take their lunch. Later on, he evolved to taking kids' lunch tickets so he could get something to eat. But by the time we had reached middle school, it became kind of passé to be beating up kids and saying that you're doing it just for the purpose of getting lunch. On one occasion, I let Smokey talk me into stealing some peaches out of the grocery store. As soon as we ran out of the store, Smokey started eating his peach. And as we started to run, he only took about 3 or 4 steps before all of a sudden he just stopped. And he started shaking, and he grabbed his chest, and he fell. And as soon as his chest hit the ground, a great big chunk of peach flew out of his mouth. Saliva and juices rolling off of it. He picked it up, he put it back in his mouth, he started eating it, and we took off running. On one occasion, we were passing by this window that had these tomatoes inside waiting to ripen. It was a piece of broken glass. And Smokey reached his hand inside that window and grabbed that tomato and pulled it back real fast. And as soon as he did, that glass just cleaved the skin off of his arm, all the way from the inside of his elbow, all the way down to his wrist, until the white meat was exposed. And all of a sudden, I could see hundreds of little red spots turn into big spots until that whole area of white meat was filled up with red. And it started to pour blood and drip like sweat. And in such a panic, I reached out to grab his arm to help him out, and he said, "No," when he snatched it back. I'm not giving you none of my tomato." Well, my relationship with Smokey and food would continue to evolve all the way to the time we got to high school. I can remember on one occasion we were out near the school bus, and there was a guy standing out there eating a sandwich. And Smokey walked up to him, and before he could say anything, the guy looked at him and said, "Here, take it. Take it if you want it. If you want some of this sandwich, if you need something to eat, go ahead and take it. Here it is." And Smokey looked at the guy, and he punched him in his face, punched him in the face, and he ran off. One day, Smokey came to school late. Too late to get his normal breakfast, beating up kids coming to school. And at the same time, this young white teacher, she also came to school late. She was wearing high heels. She had a whole bunch of books in her arms and her lunch, and she was trying to rush into the building. And Smokey attacked her. He pushed her down, he took her lunch, and he ran off. And all over the community, people were starting to say, "What kind of animal would knock a woman down and attempt to rape her in broad daylight?" It wasn't long before Smokey was caught, and he was arrested, and he was charged with attempted rape and assault. And to the question, what kind of animal would do such a thing? I knew what type. A hungry one. Food is love, but hunger will turn you into an animal.